Hello, once again, my dear viewers, and welcome back to another Moonflower Tarot reading. Today, we're going to be taking a message from Archangel Michael. He called upon me with a message for the collective, and now this is a general message, so only take what resonates. And if you feel called to this video, then chances are there's something here for you or somewhere else on this channel. I tend to do a lot of these energy readings and get messages from angels. So if this doesn't resonate with you, there are plenty other videos on this channel. But I welcome you today, and I am very glad you stopped by. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That really does help support this channel moving forward on this mission of light and help support me to be able to give you more videos each day. And if you would be so kind, I am accepting donations at this time, but don't feel like you need to do that. It's just an option for anybody who wishes to support my channel, and I greatly appreciate you being here anyway. So with that out of the way, we're going to be taking messages from Archangel Michael, and now I normally do clear channeling, and I have cards as visual representations, but I do like to keep the energy very open to see what we have coming through. And I know this message is definitely from Archangel Michael because as I was meditating and pulling cards for this, I kept seeing a little angel statue that was blue. And so I'm wondering if some of you, if that's confirmation for some of you, if you have one of those blue angel statues that kind of look like these sodalite stones, that is a good way for you. If you don't have one of those, if that doesn't resonate with you, for some of you here, you might have that, but for those of you who don't and who want to get in touch with Archangel Michael, if you have an altar or some sort of place where you pray and meditate, getting one of those sodalite or blue angel little statues would be a good recommendation from him. But you don't always need those to tap into his energy. Usually calling upon him to enter into your life and giving him permission to help you is enough. But sometimes visual representations is a very decent way to connect with angels and spirits. And he's saying bestowing a relationship on you, because that's the thing with working with angels. They're members of our family in a sense. They're part of our soul mission, and they're on our team. And to connect with them means to reestablish a relationship with them, like they're a brother or sister, or just a relative of ours, because that's how we work together in the higher realm. So if you're eager to get on your way on a spiritual track, that is a good way to connect with them. And yeah, I'm seeing a lot of sword imagery, and maybe you might be seeing that around you. Well, first of all, that's great, because there's a confirmation and a clarifier. The Queen of Swords right here. You might be dealing with people around you, because I keep hearing contradiction to what I'm saying or what I'm channeling in a weird way. I'm wondering if you have a lot of naysayers around you at this point, or if you're going through a crisis of faith, because I just got the phrase confirmation bias sort of channeling simultaneously along. This is confirmation for what I said about swords appearing in your life, or swords being a sign that he's with you. And it doesn't have to be tarot cards. It's you walk down the street and you see someone with a sword tattoo, just as an example, because right now I'm actually being taken to New York City. So I wonder if some of you live, or Boston, I'm taken to a city, if some of you live in a big metropolitan area, because that's where a lot of confusion can come from, is a lot of these differing opinions bombarding at the same time, especially if you're becoming more open and aware, or if you're having a crisis of faith and you're second guessing yourself and you're receiving messages, but you have a lot of people around you that might either internally deny it, or I'm hearing they're denying themselves that connectivity. So there can be a lot of confusion, and it might be a little bit puzzling for you right now. But call upon Angel Michael when you need clearing of distortions in your life and in your world, because that will bring you to a center of peace and truth so that you understand yourself. He also appears as an angel of justice, because if there is a lot of swords energy around you where you are dealing with a lot of, especially if you're dealing with spiritual activity on top of uncovering your own truth, uncovering truths within your life, there might be some confusion, because that happens sometimes when we have a breakthrough and we reach a deeper level of knowing. Is there's a lot of that old paradigm, that old way of thinking, old patterns of behavior that come up for us to clear and to work through and process. And that's the whole point of almost rewiring the brain in a spiritual capacity too. It means you have to kind of contradict some of your old thought patterns and paradigms to reform them on whatever new timeline you're aspiring to move towards. And for a few of you, you have already done the work. And for many of you, this is just a work in progress and it takes a lot of effort. But I'm hearing the sunshine is coming for you, because I'm hearing the sun will come out tomorrow. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, so I'm being taken to Annie. I don't know if some of you have seen, oh, I'm hearing some of you might have seen like an off Broadway performance of Annie, because I immediately gotten taken to Shirley Temple. And the sun will come out tomorrow, and then animal crackers in my soup. So some of you might like that type of music, and that might spark some joy in you. But in a weird way, looking at something like Little Orphan Annie, you might feel almost like, even though you're still in your life, in your world, and people around you, you might feel abandoned, because they might not be coming with you on this next phase of your journey. And Michael says they will understand on a soul level if you have to leave some of them behind. And a few of them might come with you, but it just is about prioritizing your truth and your well-being, especially if you're dealing with something on a deeper level and gaining clarity. There's a lot of confusion and clouding around you, and Michael is urging you and asking you to work with him to cut through it, because he will give you a deeper sense of clarity. And even in just meditating alone or aspiring for inner knowing and clarity is enough to set this in motion. Even if he's not actively working with you, there's a passive energy, because he's always protecting us. When anyone in the collective seeks spiritual clarity, mental clarity, enlightenment, there are these angels at work in the background, whether we call upon them or not. They just don't actively intervene, especially when we're dealing with free will and divine authority. They don't intervene unless we call upon them or ask, but in a sense, they are always with us, working with us and helping us. Whether we know it or not. And I think most of you do know it, and you're seeking this. I'm hearing this. Okay, so yeah, swords, clarification. Okay, this is just repeating what I've been saying. Okay, there's some shift you're going through right now, and some of it can be a little bit devastating for you, but all of it feels like this internal mental conflict. But I feel like there's a resolution soon, because I'm not feeling as, I actually, you know what? It's funny. The moment I turn this card over, even though this is a Three of Swords, I'm going to read this as a Three of Swords reversed, because we have two spades facing up and one facing down. It's almost like you're moving forward, and Archangel Michael has your back with truth and clarity, and anybody who's not on your path is moving in another direction. It feels more peaceful, this transition. And I think the divine is just reassuring you that everything you're doing is right, just knowing that you're right. And this is going to be smooth sailing, because the moment I turned this over, I felt this soothing resonance in my heart. Like my heart space feels very soothing. And that clarifies that this is a very painless removal of obstructions or distortion in your life. Like it feels like you're not even going to know stuff is happening in the background, even though you're aware of it. But it's like very clean, because one of the angels I personally called upon when I was doing cord cutting in my life was Michael. And time again, he would come in and depict his ability to cord cut as, well, first of all, he depicted energetic cords as being like two ways. So what we give into people and versus what they give back to us. Not necessarily what we receive back to them, because sometimes people put a cord in us that is the opposite. So like instead of giving to us, their cord that is attached to us is their pain, and them like a little mosquito tongue they take from us. So that's the cord that's attached to us. It's not giving back to us. We're not receiving from them. And sometimes there are people who just are vampires, but we're still attached to them, and they're attached to us because that attachment comes within them too. And so this distortion of what it means to have a cord with someone doesn't necessarily mean we're giving and receiving from them. It's a matter of what we're receiving. And sometimes what we receive is alienation and being deprived and being exhausted. And in a sense, to cut cords means on one part, we do it on our end and we release any attachments we have to another person. However, on their end, they might still have attachments and, reservations in us where they don't want to let go because they got something out of a relationship with someone like us. That was how he depicted that sort of cord cutting thing to me, because there's always another side to this, a dynamic. Every dynamic has two sides. And you might have done a lot of cord cutting and releasing, and that's what this feels like. This feels like you might have people in your life that are causing confusion, and none of it is on you. It's not your fault. You have done everything right. And I'm hearing you are doing everything right to cut cords and not engage and not involve yourself and just slowly step away and do the right thing. And right now, Archangel Michael is asking you to let him do his job and just go to the other side and be like, there's going to be something happening in their lives, and they're just going to have no choice but to let go because their path is going to be redirected away from you. They're going to be like turning around and like walking away. Whereas in the past, I might have been following behind you, and now they're not doing that anymore. They're walking like away. So that seems to be why there's this soothing feeling in my heart. It feels like after this cord is cut, you're going to feel peace because it's going to come and go so easily. You're just not even going to be aware it happened. And it's almost like I'm feeling like this sigh of relief of, oh, I don't have to deal with that anymore. Thank goodness. And that's what Archangel Michael is working on in your life right now. And this is confirmation for most of you. Wow. Well, let's see what other messages. He's saying he wants you to look at the methods you used in the past for healing and continue to use them now. I'm hearing some of you need to go swimming, or even if it's cold outside, well, not go swimming if it's cold outside. I'm hearing for most of you, if you have access to a pool or water, go swimming. That is a nice cleansing and grounding method for you to reconnect to yourself. For some of you, or not, for some of you, or quite a few of you, I'm hearing, there's a lot of excuse me one second. There's a lot of energy going around in my mind. There seems to be a need for grounding. Going outside in the sun, even if it's in the middle of January or the cold, although I will say be cautious because most of you are probably in freezing weather. Don't go outside if it's really cold. He's mostly saying go out into the sun if it's sunny. Get any sunshine into your body, or any place that is warm, where you can be in an environment where you can kind of find your center, is what I'm seeing a lot of. I just got a lot of energy coming to me at once, so bear with me for a second. So this is what, so Archangel Michael is healing you from something, and he says he's healing you from this. Okay, so see what I kept seeing swords energy. So we have the 10 of swords in reverse, which is a good sign. And it's funny because I don't usually when I get these very heavy messages, I feel this, I feel it energetically. I can feel how these are being received. And right now it almost feels like peace. I feel very soothed in my heart, in my sacral chakra too. And you might be doing work there. And if so, good work. He says Archangel Michael's working with you. But this 10 of swords in reverse, it's almost like the swords are falling out of you. Because that's what it feels like. These reversals of these swords like cards are actually very good news, and he is definitely around you right now. I am very, very happy and almost surprised, but I almost feel calm. Like it's just like the Ten of Swords is all about surrender and release at an end of a painful cycle. But right now it seems like the cycle has already come to an end. You're just dealing with like the aftermath of people in your life. It's already ended for you. And you might be just dealing with some, I'm hearing licking your wounds. So you don't have a lot of, I hear in the past you might have felt like in circumstances like this you were in grave danger, but now you've done so much healing that you don't, like, I don't feel that anymore. I feel like you are just moving forward because I keep hearing you're smooth sailing. It's just smooth. It's just this release is going to be so easy and effortless. It's just like surrendering to God or Archangel Michael. I'm literally hearing Jesus take the wheel because that's what it feels like right now. It's like I've done my part, I've done the work, and Archangel Michael will applaud you, and he suggests that you take this time to rest because this is a brief period between the end of a very painful cycle and the beginning of a new one, and to heal yourself would mean to take the required actions necessary to take care of yourself, keep up with your life, but allow yourself to rest in between these phases. I'm also seeing an image of Mother Mary. This might be my Catholic pile, which yeah, some of you might. Oh, that's nice. I'm hearing some of you might be abroad from where I am. I'm in the um, yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm seeing a statue of Mother Mary, and lately I've been taken to the Sacred Heart, um, the one you often see depicted in either Mary or Jesus, because that's the heart of unconditional love for everyone, for everything, even. Okay, so because we have probably people who are Christian and Catholics in this pile, I will say this because that's the thing. What we learn from Jesus's life and his death is that there was, till the very end, this unconditional love and understanding for the people who persecuted him. Because I believe his final words on the cross were, forgive them for they do not know what they do. And in a deeper sense, when you reached a point of spiritual enlightenment, you get that on a very deep level because you understand the pains and the fear of people. You understand why people do what they do and why they're so afraid and why they would choose to persecute. It's just that fear, that ego, and it's sad and devastating. And because Jesus was, in a sense, an ascended master who came here to help us learn how to become more enlightened and ascend, he was saying, hey, listen, they might have done this to me, but even in my death, you're going to know how to treat them when you have to move on from them. They do not know what they do. They do not know that their actions are hurting themselves more than they're hurting you, because in the end, you are going to survive this and be reborn into a new person and a beautiful person who looks back at these people not with hate or darkness, but with light and love and compassion. And that's the type of peace we all should aspire to, is trusting that God always has a way for us to move on and ascend to a higher place, even when we have to leave people behind, and to not stay stuck with them, but to have compassion for them and to heal, because that is the ultimate test of faith and compassion, is if we can have unconditional love for the people who chose to hurt us. That is the most beautiful place a person can ascend to, is being so unconditionally loving that they choose to love even when they are being hurt. And I'm so sorry if that happened to you, but what I will say is you are being protected by God, by Archangel Michael and the divine. I just got these chills. I got tingles on my crown chakra in the back of my head. And that's usually a sign that you have a lot of spiritual protection around you. And that's also a sign that your angels are around you, helping you ascend. If you ever get tingles or you feel this like flux of energy or light around your crown, because I just got that. So that definitely means that you are ascending, and you have. I want to just say I am so proud of you, and I'm sorry you went through this, but I am so proud of you that you reached a point where you can have this space of compassion and unconditional love, because there's a lot of gratitude for Michael and the angels because that's exactly what Jesus came here to teach us how to do. And you are fulfilling that promise, because I'm even seeing the Queen of Swords as Mary, the Virgin Mary. And maybe you might see her that way if you're pulling cards for yourself, or if you're going to spiritual people and asking them, or if you just see, motherly, queenly figures in your life. That is a sign that not only Archangel Michael's around you, your ancestors are around you, and Mary is around you too, if that's someone you pray to, or patron saint of your church or your group. So you do have a lot. I'm also hearing any good luck spells you might be casting for a few of you, because I'm also hearing a few of you might be Wiccan, or Christian mystics too. Like any spell casting you do is going to be successful, and I'm hearing good luck spells are going to be successful, especially within the next new moon phase and full moon. Sorry. January 12th, February 12th, and the full moon, you're going to see a lot of success with good luck spells, especially if you've done a lot of healing work. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so you have a lot of help in the higher realms surrounding you. You're in good company. And I'm actually, so Three of Cups, I'm seeing these cats surrounding this fire so that's why I think Wiccan or spell casting came up, or if you're a practitioner of magic, even if it's like Christian magic, which some of you might or may not approve of, but just take it as it resonates. I think most of you understand this, because in every religion there is a section that is mysticism. And this happened way before Jesus was even born. We have Jewish mysticism and magic, and then Christianity had that too. So it's like every religious expression has a form of this type of expressing a connection with the divine through more esoteric practices. And that's perfectly fine, because even the transfiguration, what is that? Because there's a lot of philosophy in here, in this group too. So let me get back on track, because I was distracted. There is a need for grounding and calling upon your ancestors, because I see these 3 black cats and the smoke coming up as almost like your ancestors are helping you release any of the shadows and damage that have been done, especially if there's some karma in your family line. Because I'm also hearing your family is facing divine judgment and retribution for their actions. And as long as you keep moving forward and moving on from this, I'm hearing some of you might even go on vacation. I got a message that some of you might be going to Sandals Resort on vacation. I'm hearing next Saturday. Oh, goodness. Well, if any of you have plans to go to Sandals on a tropical cruise or to a resort next Saturday, let me know. And I wish you the best of luck, because that sounds fantastic. But yeah, they're with you. If you're going traveling, they're going to be going with you on vacation, because I just got shown an airplane. So some of you might be traveling in the near future. I'm hearing as early as next week. So they're with you and they're protecting you during that journey as well. So just know that you are going to be able to take a vacation very successfully and peacefully, because you have a lot of ancestors around you who are helping you clear this in the background while you are this fire burning bright. You are burning your light. You are shining your light, and you have so many spirit guides and ancestors around you who are purifying a lot of what you can't have access to, especially in spirit and within people. You can't control how other people act towards you or how other people think about you, but you can control how much you are willing to give in to their beliefs or what they've projected onto you, and how much you are willing to add to that or to move on and shine your light. And considering most of you are choosing to move on and shine your light, I definitely see you releasing a lot of this just by making that choice alone, and having a lot of ancestors, spiritual energy, and even karmic beings who might have owed you a favor, especially if someone has moved on. And if you had a family member who might have contributed to your pain, who is no longer with you, they're with you in spirit, helping you move on. I'm seeing owls might be an indicator or sign for you, and even cats are a sign for you that this loved one is nearby. Because the thing is that if we have karmic baggage with another person, or they did something in their life and they might have to owe us in a certain way, spiritually, energetically, they might not pay us in their current life. They might pay us when they move on to the next, and realize that they're still attached to you by spirit because they have unfinished business or wounds. And that might sound weird. And I will just give an example from my own life without being too specific, because I actually have firsthand witnessed people from my life who I knew who might have contributed something move on into the next, and they were working with me to help me through something. So I have experience with that, where I saw them appear as certain animals or spirit guides. And for the life of me, and the reason why I brought up an owl is sometimes people who have passed on appear as owls, and sometimes it's seen as a bad omen, but for me, I was being protected because I literally lost someone in my family. And then not too soon after, I had to get something done, and I was recovering from surgery, basically. And I had never heard owls around me so much before. Occasionally, I would have heard them, but I swear to goodness, the 2 weeks after I got out and I was uncertain if I would recover very well, I heard owls nonstop. Like, there were so many owls in my backyard. I just knew I would be okay. I knew who that was because the day that this person passed, an owl flew into the middle of the road to show me that they were there for me. So I'm just saying, if you see signs like that, even if they're as a spirit of protection or to redirect you, they're making up for whatever karmic baggage they might have attached to you. And that might be part of their deal, let's say, for incarnating here and healing from generational karma. Is you're breaking a cycle clearly, and you have done this. So you might be dealing mostly with people in the spiritual realm who are helping you clear this in the background. And this is confirmation to you. If you've been hearing or seeing the signs, that's who's doing the work. And all you have to do is keep shining your light. Yeah, a lot of very clear messages for you. And I do have some songs that are coming through that I'm kind of like, I'm not saying what they are. If you're interested in any music that I might be picking up, I will leave them in the description if it helps you or confirms anything for you. But I am just trying to keep this quick and simple as I can as I go through this, but I will leave those songs in the description. Oh, Five of Wands. Yeah, there's a lot of clutter that's these. Okay, Michael says take these off. This is what I'm hearing Michael is clearing from you in your life, is the conflict and competition. You're trying to grow, you're trying to evolve, and there might be a lot of these people around you picking fights or just disturbing the peace. And a lot of them don't know this because people do this subconsciously and unknowingly, because that's kind of how people often are programmed, and it's part of a status quo social norm that when you ascend to a certain level, you're not going to see as acceptable, because we can get along, we can all excel and do good by each other. We don't have to fight, and you might be past this conflict, this competition. And this is what Archangel Michael and your spirit guides and angels are relieving you from, is the need to feel like you have to constantly fight all the time and fight people. And I want to clarify this Lover's card. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, clarifying the Lover's card. You're moving on and finding peace. That's what I'm seeing. You're making peace with the choices you make and the people you choose to bring with you. You're going to be able to rest easy knowing that you walked away from this with a clear conscience, with good intentions, and a pure heart that says, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. Because people are creatures of habit. And if hate behavior is enabled and reinforced by a system that doesn't know any better, doesn't know that by fighting each other, none of us are winning, or by, being mean to each other, it's not good for anybody. It's worse for the people who have to endure it and walk away. However, in the long run, what's that doing to their soul? They're not feeling peace if they're constantly fighting. They don't have the capacity to feel that peace, to feel that divine union, or to have a space in your heart for unconditional love, because that space feels like this pure, calm, like beautiful light. It's being in a state of unconditional love is the most beautiful state a human can achieve, anyone can achieve. And I've been in those states after going through a lot of darkness, and you too. I see that in you. I'm also hearing you might have seen some of my other videos, um, especially with I forget which one it was, but I was taken to a video where I was talking about Princeton. I think it was one of the pick a card videos where you were, yeah, it's like a scientist or an archaeologist that saw everyone in their world moving in one direction, knowing it was not right for them, and then wanting to kind of move on in a more light love. I'm hearing clerical direction, so I'm wondering if, excuse me, some of you, clerical, if you want to be like priests or healers in a more in the field of your choosing, or if you want to, that's interesting. I think for some of you, this is hard for you to hear right now, but for most of you, this is just further clarification because I feel like some of you came from that reading, and you might have to let me know which one that was because I don't remember off the top of my head. But this is just a very clear sign that you are on the right path. And I'm going to say, if you're still here and you're listening, I'm proud of you because, and I know I always say that, but I really mean it because you are on the right track and you have grown and evolved because it seems like you're making the best choice. Archangel Michael's just doing some of the background work, and here's your confirmation. Like there is a very philosophical stoic inside of you that is almost in opposition to these green little gremlins who insist on fighting each other, but in a sense you have this capacity to love and understand that is almost being equated to, and this is more Archangel Michael is basically congratulating you because you have achieved a place of unconditional love in the same way Jesus had when he was being persecuted by the people he came to save. And I know that sounds weird and it might sound kind of like, oh no, delusions of grandeur. But in that case, Jesus succeeded in what he came to do. He wanted to have people follow in his footsteps to make the same decisions he did and to love as he did. So he has succeeded in you. You are more of a follower than Christ than anyone who might have been around you who tried to convince you that there was only one way to understand his life and what he taught. You got the assignment, you understand the literature, but you understood it in your heart and how you act. And who you are as a person is owed to your capacity to be able to grieve the loss, but to believe in a love that is greater than what you were taught divine love was. You've achieved that. So congratulations, because it just means God and Jesus succeeded in what he came out here to do. You are ascending by following his footsteps and his example, which is what he came here to do. So congratulations. And you might be envied by people in your own circles, in your own church, and I'm so sorry about that, who are so persuaded by money and greed and power that they don't see that love. And it's not your job to choose for them to see it. They have to decide that for themselves. We have free will. God loved us enough to give us free will, but he loves us enough to be able to use that in a way to have compassion for others. And that's what you've done. So I just want to congratulate you. Michael wants to congratulate you and let you know he's always there with you. And if you were bound by the constraints of a hierarchy, of a religious institution, just know that in your heart, there is an answer for you. And Archangel Michael wants to help you find that within. But the path forward is clear. All you have to do is stick to what you know is true. And sometimes the traditions that were made for you were not made by you. And I know that sounds weird. That's only going to make sense to a few of you, but you get what I mean, especially if you are resonating with this and you're trying to move on from something, you are on the right track. And this is further confirmation. So thank you so much for watching once again, dear viewers. And I hope this has helped you reconnect with your soul. So have a very nice day.